We get stuck. We know we should be able to do it, but we're struggling. Maybe it'd be best if we just gave up, because obviously we're not good enough. But let's take a step back. We've all been in the position where we've been learning something new at work or school or even in a relationship, and we get a sudden pang of pain and dissatisfaction from unsuccessfully attempting our new endeavor. How do we feel in that moment? Unworthy? Unhappy? Probably unsatisfied, at least. Congratulations! We've successfully pushed up against our limits. Great work. But wait, why is this good news? Well, it's good news because we've done something uncomfortable. We've tried something new to us. We've done something that we aren't confident with yet. And we survived. And why is it important to do this regularly? Because how else do we expect ourselves to improve in, well, anything? Here's my thoughts on a philosophy for learning new things. To start, what does it mean to learn something? We've acquired information about a skill, practice, or subject, whether that be through physical instruction and implementation, or with theoretical work with concepts. Either way, we've gotten a new understanding about something in particular. We all know what it feels like to finally understand something, or to have something just click as if realization just came out of thin air. However, the thing I'd like to focus on in this video is the part just before that. The part that has frustration, disappointment, regret, despair, and most of all, doubt. You know the part I'm talking about. The part where we question ourselves. Are we really so dumb that we can't figure this out? And, well, they figured it out, so we should have too. All while we're highlighting how we must not be this type of person. All too often, the result of this unsuccessful feedback loop turns us away from continuing to make attempts at this new thing we were really excited to get better at or even get good at. The thing that's stopping us from achieving whatever our goal is usually isn't a lack of capacity to do it, but instead the patience needed to work on it daily until we're able to achieve it. A great quote by Benjamin Franklin puts it aptly. He that can have patience can have what he will. What we can do from here is simple. Not easy, but simple. We can shift our mindset from prioritizing pleasure to prioritizing pain. The pain I'm talking about isn't enough to put you in the ground, but it's the kind that makes you uncomfortable. It's the kind that makes you uncertain in whether or not you're going to be able to complete the goal or task or thing that you have in front of you. And that then stirs you to do more, to push yourself further than what you thought you could. This voluntary acceptance of doing uncomfortable things, I feel, is pretty foundational to keep persisting when things aren't looking good, and to keep going when we're not sure how to work something out or where it's going to go yet. But we stay curious and commit to working out our new thing each day. A good reminder of this is a quote by Scott Alexander. All good is hard. All evil is easy. Dying, losing, cheating, and mediocrity is easy. Stay away from easy. The reality is that bringing good things into our life is pretty hard, and it requires time and work. But the thing we tend to dismiss when we originally set our sights on doing something new with our rose-colored glasses on is this part of the equation, which is the main chunk of succeeding at whatever we're trying to do. We can learn a lesson from martial arts. We all know it. Every black belt started as a white belt. So we should be focusing on how we can move up the ranks of our abilities hierarchies rather than dwelling on the magnitude of the achievement we are trying to attain. Moving forward, once we understand that we don't need to be great at something on the first day to warrant its continued practice, we can look towards the horizon to see all the possibilities of the different things that we could accomplish. And an important component to remember so that we can ensure that we are continuing to progress the more that we do is a strategy originally developed by the late Anders Ericsson, or known as the guy that came up with the 10,000 hour rule, is a thing called deliberate practice. And I was originally introduced to this concept through Cal Newport's book, Deep Work. Now, he has this to say on it. Doing things we know how to do well is enjoyable. And that's exactly the opposite of what deliberate practice demands. My understanding of deliberate practice is we have a tendency to choose to do the things that we're most confident with. and usually to avoid the things that we are least confident with. Doing so rids us of being able to develop the areas of our skill that we really need to be developing. And instead, we just rerun and repeat the areas that we don't need to because it feels good to be competent at something. But that's only going to get us so far. What we need to do instead is embrace the confusing and disorientating feeling of not knowing how to do something, but continue to sit with it anyway and progress millimeter by millimeter until we build up competence in it over time. If we are really wanting to pursue something new in our lives, then we need to be prepared for the discomfort it's most likely going to cause. Not only in the initial implementation of it, but throughout acquiring further knowledge and skills in it. This isn't meant to come across as doom and gloom for our hopes and dreams. Quite the opposite, in fact. For us to realize that it's necessary to experience some growing pains along our way keeps us more on the path of what we're actually trying to do and firmly grounded in the reality of the situation. This then means that we're less likely to fall prey to that idealized version of life that we've been fooling ourselves with. And doing so, therefore, allows us to be doing the things that we're really wanting to be doing, accepting that there's hard parts and that there's great parts and that there's many parts in between, but that to do those things and to experience any of it, the struggle is inherent in any new process and that we need to be comfortable with that. And that is how I feel we are able to do, learn, be, experience new things. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.